A great question in the Stats Edge Pro trading room that I think will help the members if I answer it via video. I think it will help all of you guys, whether you're a systems trader, discretionary trader, day trader, swing trader, whatever. I think this is a great question. It was essentially how do and where do I add value to a system? And where should I figure out, where should I kind of insert the human side into something like systems trading? So, for those who don't know, what we do over at Stats Edge Pro is I build systems. So I have three that I'm currently running. I'm always working to build more systems and ideas for different time frames, asset classes. Members get on the weekend where I sit down and I run all the data and it pulls all the reports. They get a list, from the pullback system. Here's the 10 names. Here's the entry price, stop loss price from the mean reversion. Here's the names, right? So on and so forth for the different systems. Now, also, I set alerts in my trading view, and they get pushed automatically to the Discord bot. So if you're in the room, you don't have to set the alerts yourself. The Discord bot will just yell at you when those things have occurred. Now, what we're trying to do is see when these prices are hit, if there's kind of buyers and sellers there. And that's a place that I think I add value. But if you don't, then there's nothing wrong with just setting out those limit orders. You have a whole bunch of orders that you could just set out and you can go from there. So let's talk about the three areas that I think humans can help with systems and potentially where I think there could be value add and where I don't think that there is value add. I'll talk about me personally and then I'll talk about for everyone. So right off the bat, right, these are all the symbols that theoretically could trade this week. I know there's some people that will go through these names and they will look at fundamentals. They'll look at the long-term technicals. They'll have some of the names that they're interested in and some of the names that they're absolutely not. That's one place that I think you can add value. The statistics. Again, if you go to the website, we have it all listed right here. You know the statistics behind this. And your goal is to either follow this verbatim. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're completely okay with what is right here, that's fine. But the idea is, in a perfect world, you want to do better than this. So one of the ways is you could go through this list, knowing what it is that it's looking for, and looking for things like, hey, where do I think I could add value? It could be personal for saying, Carvana is a little bit crazy for me. I'm not even going to trade that one. It could be something like portfolio base. It could be I already own a bunch of crypto, so if I see a crypto name come through there, I'm probably not going to buy that because that adds a lot of exposure to what I'm doing, right? So this whole stock selection box, this is one place that people can add value, and you always have to ask yourself, am I adding value from that? And the way to do it is to track the trades you've taken versus your system. Now, whether it's you're using my system, whether you're building your own system, you always have to track these are the trades that I could have taken and these are the trades that I did take. Sometimes it's just easier to do it, right? You do all of them in a paper trader, you do some of them in your live account, and you track the difference. That's one way of doing it. The other way is kind of the way that I do it, where as these alerts come through, I will watch and make sure that there is some amount of buying where the system said that there was buying, right? Because you got to remember, I run the system every week, and again, you can have all the data right here. I think I can add a little bit of value. So ALLE, for example, right? This is the idea behind this. We'll actually go to the weekly chart. Is we're looking for very strong stocks that are a little bit overextended to the downside on the weekly chart, and we're just looking to kind of do a little snatch and grab. If there's support in the area where the system is staying to buy, we want to take it. The system has us selling on the following Monday, so roughly a week, give or take, and then we're just repeating that over and over again. So it's a shorter term swing system. So for me, I want to really add value on order entry. So ALE on this candle right here, which is the first candle of the day, that's where it sent the Discord alert, and that's where I started looking at it. And I kind of hoed and hummed, especially at the end of this candle, because it had this kind of big topping tail. So I just looked at it and say, okay, if we break these lows, then I'm not going to take this one. But if we start to hold strong, then I'm interested. Next candle was strong. I end up buying it. So what I end up giving up is the difference between 26.77, which was the entry price, and 26 or 27.20, so about 50 cents, which was the price that I got in. You got to ask yourself that, is that worth it? Would you have rather gotten that price? Because sometimes, of course, it comes and it hits the entry price and it will just bleed right through. Do you think you add value there? You would track it the same way. You would take all of the trades in an Excel spreadsheet, or you would take them in a simulated account, or however you want to track them. These are all the trades that could have triggered, and this is what would have happened if I just followed my system verbatim, right? If you have your own system, or obviously Stats Edge system, and then this is what I did. And over time, obviously not with every trade are you going to make a difference, but over time, you're looking to see, are you adding value on the entry or not? And again, you notice that we're only making slight deviations, right? I'm not buying, let's just grab something, Carvana, right? I'm not buying Carvana way up here just because I like the stock, because the system said we want this thing to sell, right? This is Friday's candle. We want it to move a little bit lower. So I'm not buying that. That would be to me a big deviation, right? I'm looking, where can I add a little bit of value on the edges, because over time, those little bit of value on the edges to your system will make a difference. Last thing is on exit, right? So let's go to HCA. So this was on the list this week, but I actually also had some last week, which was on this candle right here. So HCA was one of those. The idea was to sell on Monday morning, which was right here. Now I liked the fact that it put in this big bottoming tail and it was holding this support. So I said I'm going to let this one go for a couple days with a really tight stop loss. If we closed in a day down in this area, it was time to go. But I got a good price. I was up a little bit on it, and I was okay. Again, these little pushing on the edges, saying I'm going to give this another couple days. Not I'm going to hold this for a bunch of weeks, because again, this particular system is saying get out Monday morning, and this was Monday right here. And then on Tuesday we had a great day, and then on Wednesday we continued. We have a holiday today on Thursday, so I killed it on Wednesday. So just again pushing on these systems, I made an extra couple bucks than I would have if I followed the system this time. But again, I'm not deviating entirely, saying I'm going to hold this for 6 months. And I track these. So what I end up doing is I track what I'm doing versus what the system's doing. And if overall I'm doing better, then I want to continue to do what I'm doing and continue to kind of push on these edges. If I'm doing worse than the system, then I shouldn't do anything. I should just put out the stop loss orders. I should put out the orders to sell when it's time to sell and just ignore it. And that's how I want you guys thinking. And a lot of this has to do with the randomness of trading. A lot of people will look at whether they made money. And if they made money, they said, I made good decisions. And if I lost money, then I made bad decisions. And this is the part that I kind of want you to rewire in your brain. It's not how it works. You have to have a benchmark to compare yourself to, because I could come in and just buy a random stock by throwing a dart at a board and I could make a bunch of money on it. Doesn't mean it was a good decision, doesn't mean it's going to make me money over the long run. So develop some system, some idea, some trading plan, and then start to compare yourself by, did you do better or did you do worse than the trading plan? If you're doing better, you want to start pushing those boundaries a little bit. You want to start saying, okay, how can I get even better than my system all the time? If you're doing worse than your system, then you should just be falling back and relying on your system. So if my system is down, you know, $3 or 3% this month, and I am down 5%, I know I did something I have to look at. If my system is down 3% this month and I'm flat, I'm super happy, right? Even though I didn't make money, I am happy because whatever I did, I avoided the drawdown that the system had that particular month. And when you start thinking like this, it will free up a lot of burden on yourself, because if the system's down 10% for a month and I'm only down 5%, that is a moment where in the past I would probably be trying to completely abandon what I was doing and create another system and do another thing. Whereas now that I have something to compare myself to, I did a great job. I can walk around with a smile on my face being down 5% for a month, knowing that if I continue to follow the system, it will work. So it's all about, what do you compare yourself to? And then how do you track it? You have to have some ability to say, if I just followed the system, I would have gotten this. I did it myself. I made these changes, and this is what happened. And then you can continuously kind of push against and move with your system. So I hope this helped. It was kind of rambly, but I do think this is an important one. I think the benchmark in which we compare ourselves to, the ruler that we use, is very, very important. And I think it's something that's quite often overlooked. So Again, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and comment and subscribe and all those things. I hope everyone's having a good day off, and I will see you guys on Friday for this week's market wrap up.